So today's subject is all about how to be an award-winning leader. No better person to talk to than an award-winning leader. With us today, Claire Owen, founder of the SG Group. Claire, thanks for joining us today.
It's a pleasure.
I wanted to kick things off by asking you whether you thought leadership was something which just came from within, or can you actually teach it?
Oh, well, I think there are some people who are natural born leaders. However, I think there are a whole group of people who fall into the potentially great leaders.
Okay.
And so I do believe it is a kind of it's a hybrid. I think there are some people you have some natural skills, the ability to empathise and understand individuals, because I personally believe that leadership isn't about standing in front of people and heading off in a direction without actually knowing whether the people behind you can follow you.
Sure.
So I think you do need to have an empathy with people. But I think, unquestionably, my skills have been honed over the years. So I don't think I was as competent a leader 15 years ago as I am now. Okay. Ergo, I have learnt something along the way.
And how have you typically picked up those learnings along the way from, I assume, a whole different bunch of places? But can you give us some examples?
I think there's many ways. I think the first one would be just my own experiences. I have learned, as somebody who was in the early days of my career led. I was being led by other people, and my experiences of that have taught me the good things about leadership and the bad things. So unquestionably, my style of leadership has been influenced by the people that were leading me in my early career. I think another thing, and I'm not sure whether people do explore this as much as they could, and I think reading. There are an enormous number of books out there on leadership. And I mean, just go onto Amazon and put leadership in, and it'll just come up with, God knows how many hundreds of books. But there are some really good books out there that I think that there will be snippets of the experience and the learning that you can get from those books that will improve.
Do you have any particular favourites?
Oh, one which I read and I loved, and I'm not a great business book reader. I mean, let's put this into perspective. I don't go to bed every night and read a business book. But somebody once sent me a book by a guy called Jim Collins called From Good to Great, and it's a lovely. It's talking about. It's not just actually about leadership, but it's about how you take. How you can take a good company and make it into a great company. Ultimately, leaders in business, that is part of their remit, or their remit is to ensure that they are leading great businesses.
Sure.
And so that was just one book as a leader of business that I loved and learnt an awful lot from.
So there's a number of folks watching who run small businesses or lead small departments within larger companies.
Yeah.
Who are perhaps, let's say, an average manager at the moment. Are there any particular things that you would recommend, as of this moment, perhaps 2 or 3 tips that they could take to develop from being okay to, people looking at them going, wow, these guys really know what they're doing?
Oh gosh, it's an entire book, not just a few minutes. I think, what I think people could do, if they, and this is requiring a degree of braveness, but actually I think to be a good leader, I do think you need to be brave, is that if you are not sure how you are performing in the leadership arena, well, ask the people that you are leading. And it can be a really eye-opening experience to get some feedback, because it's very easy just to say, oh well, I'm just going to carry on doing it like this, and actually, I'm not going to consider what people are thinking about me. Actually, if you want to be a great leader, you've got to know the impact that your actions and words are having on the people that you're leading. So if you really want to improve your leadership, then I'd go out and ask the staff, or ask the team that you're leading, and get some feedback from them.
Okay.
No, I think one of the great traits of a great leader is honesty, and I think it's a huge mistake for people to try and kid their team that things are okay when they're not. So I think, yes, you have to inspire people, And you need to be, in difficult times, as well as in good times, coming up with solutions. People look to a leader to guide them. That's what leadership is all about. So if you're a leader on a mountain expedition, it's which way should we go, what time should we get up in the morning in order to get to the top of the mountain before the snow starts to melt. A leader within a business environment still has to find solutions to problems. So that's no different whether times are good or whether they're bad. But if things are tough, you might as well tell the staff, because if you don't, they're no fools. They will know what's going on around them, and actually will have more respect and trust in you if you are open about the challenging times that an organisation or a team are facing. And in fact, I think they need more reassurance when times are tough, that you have got your finger on the pulse. They need to know that you know what it's really, really like out there. Otherwise, they're going to be thinking, well, why on earth are we following him or her? Because I don't think they really understand what it's really like. So you really do need to show that you know what it's really like out there.
Do you think that's the difference between a manager and a leader? Because typically a manager will just pass information on. I think some people may call themselves leaders when they're actually just managers.
Yeah. Leadership is all about inspiring. Leadership is inspiring the people, your team, to follow you. That's what leadership, followers. So absolutely. A manager will implement. A manager will be somebody who is told that they've got to get from A to B. It's the leader who will define the best route to get from A to B, and the fact that we need to go from A to B.
Sure.
So very much so.